Bergeron and the like.
Okay, well, thank you. First of all, I say thank you for having me and understanding my dilemma. I almost didn't make it, but I'm glad I did.
It's an entrepreneurial dilemma. That just comes with the territory.
It is. People feel me out there. I know, especially child care providers. We're struggling out there, but I appreciate your understanding, and I'm happy to see.
And I'm going to let you run through what board you're on and the like.
Okay, well, thank you. First of all, I say thank you for having me.
And I'm going to let you run through what board you're on and the like.
Okay, well, thank you. First of all, I say thank you for having me and understanding my dilemma. I almost didn't make it, but I'm glad I did.
It's an entrepreneurial dilemma. That just comes with the territory.
It is. People feel me out there. I know, especially child care providers. We're struggling out there, but I appreciate your understanding, and I'm happy to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, so I'm excited to be here. I'm on the Crown Coliseum board. I'm actually coming off that board soon. I've been on that board for years, but it's growing and it's doing well. I did my job on that board.
You were chair for a while, weren't you?
Yes, yes. So now I was secretary, I was vice chair and chair. So did that. It's growing. You see, we get in the building. It was a big step, but I'm proud of the work we did, and it's time to move on.
Okay.
Now I'm vice chair at Distinctly Fayetteville, but most know it as Fayetteville Business Bureau. But the name was changed to Distinctly Fayetteville.
Now, is this what Devin Heath running?
Yes.
Okay. So,
yes,
I would say the Convention and Visitors Bureau, how I would have called it in the past.
Oh, okay.
He sat in that chair 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can go on the WIDU Facebook page and see that interview.
Okay, I sure will. But he's thus far he's tremendous. He's doing a great job.
Okay.
And I'm very excited about our choice with that. Right now, like I said, I'm the vice chair. I'm chair. I was voted chair, so I take that position in the summer.
Okay.
Coming up. And because we're growing, and I'm glad to be a part of that. And I'm learning just like everyone else. It's so much. I didn't know that they did over there, but they're a good asset to the community, and I don't think a lot of people know that.
No, I would agree that they don't know. And tourism and conventions, I think he quoted a number like $600 million in economic benefit to our community, and tourism. Every dollar that a tourist spends and it turns into tax receipts is money that you don't have to get out of the taxes of the local community.
That's right.
So it's a very big and very important economic driver and engine.
It really is, and I don't think people know that. And I didn't know. I will be honest. When you're not in that line of work, you don't know all the ins and outs of it. But it's a big business. It's something that we need, especially in Fayetteville for events. If you have a nonprofit or you have an event coming, you can get help for that. People don't know that. And knowledge is power. So I want to help get the message out there and for people to try to get help. I mean, I know they can't help everyone, but you got to be in it to win it.
Got to be in it to win it. And then there's a third board you're on.
No.
Okay. That's it?
That's it for now.
So what are you doing with your free time then? I mean,
right. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I just had to decline something, so I'm trying to start a new project on my own. I've been putting it off for years and years. And this new project, hopefully, you're gonna have to speak to 3 secretaries before you get to me. Not you, Doris, well, because you're gonna always have the line to, you gotta keep the ones that was there for you before
I'm on speed dial. Okay, that works.
But I'm really gonna work on it, and I will speak with you about it off air, but it's very exciting.
So before we jump deep in, and I don't know how often you're on WIDU. I don't know to what extent the audience knows who you are. So give a little bit of a background, because you're a transplant like I am. I think you got it about the same time I did.
Yes, actually, I'm originally from Georgia, but I lived in Connecticut for 20 years, attended Savannah State University. All my family is from Georgia and New Jersey, and my father's from Mississippi, so my father's military, so I traveled.
Right.
So I'm a bit of a traveler, but I've been here, and when I got here it was not even a Dunkin' Donuts here. That's just how. And when we got Dunkin' Donuts, I just thought, woo, we hit the jackpot. I mean, really, who would have known that we would, and I know you feel the same way, that we would be in to this. Now I'm just waiting for the entertainment, and, I can't travel as much as I used to because of my mom.
Right.
So now I need for things to be local. And I never understood that as much as I, see, you don't understand the cause until you need the cause. You know, just like people want to go for Parkinson. I mean, they have Parkinson now, so now they're on that. You know, that's just how it is. And now that I need to stay local, I'm pushing for events to be local and for us to get great concepts for everyone. You know, we don't have to send our money always to Raleigh. You know, I've heard them say that we don't have enough hotels to hold the type of people that it would bring. That hurts my heart. That
does.
as big as we are, we can't host them because of hotels.
Well, it's an interesting question, and one of the things I harp on all the time is to have a strategic vision across the community. And you've got the business community, you've got government, you've got nonprofits, and then you've got the state government that kind of is across it. And if candidly, you even have the counties around it. If we were to put a stake in the ground about what we wanted to see happen 10 years from now, this is an overstatement. Research Triangle Park exists because somebody put a vision, put a stake in the ground, and those three counties got together and subordinated their individual aspirations.
Got together
for a greater good.
That's right.
And not only does it benefit those three counties, but the counties around it are getting massive benefits as a result. Yeah. And there is nothing in this part of the state. We are the epicenter, and so if we were to, in effect, say, "I want a vision,"
could you imagine how we would be? It would be. Could you imagine how awesome we could be? I mean, seriously, because everything you stated, and me being on these different boards and all the different. It's like if we all connect the dots and get in one room and really sit down and speak to one another, all the key people that, okay, we have this, you have that, let's bring it together in the meeting, and we're all gonna win, and it's better for it. I say it all the time, for us to be so huge, we're still small.
Right.
And I think we're getting there. I think that, we're trying to get there. And with everyone got to just do their job. Everyone can't be the chief.
Right.
And I think everybody got to know their position.
And why does everybody want to be the chief? I personally like the idea of not being the chief.
I don't know if you have my phone tap or something. I don't, because that's what I said. I'm on the board. I won't name his name, but he's the chair, and I actually supposed to be the chair now. And I'm just so I begged him, just give me some more time.
Right.
Just, because like you stated, it's a lot of responsibility with everything. I would love to I love being the. People always ask me, "Are you gonna ever run?" I was like, "No, I like being this person. I don't need to be the face of everything."
It's so ironic we're having this conversation. Just this week, I joined the Cape Fear Regional Theater Board.
Oh, I love those. I love them.
And the energy of that organization, what they're doing, how well they have laid out all the committees.
She's serious.
I got an email. Okay, these are when the board meetings are. You're on 2 committees. This is when those committees meet. And then right after that, I got a text asking me, could I join another board? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm already on 2 boards. Because I'm also on the City View News Fund board.
Oh, okay.
So and I'm appreciative of the people leading it and allow me to throw my little 2 cents across and say, how can I be helpful behind the scenes?
That's right. It's not because you're right, because I didn't.
Because we got businesses to run.
And you're right, and that's why I feel like, and I'm like, no, I'm trying to get out. No more boards. I mean, it's not about, because now I want to do work on the board. So it's not about, oh, you're on the board. It's not I don't need a resume, but I've been there.
I don't need to build a resume.
Right.
Let's have an impact. Let's have some impact.
Let's have an impact. I can connect this. I can do this. I can help this person bridge this gap. And I've done that. I've helped people get contracts in the city that's never gotten contracts. Yeah. And they're looking at me strange. I'm like, yes, I don't want it. This is my job. This is a need. Keep the money in the city. If you don't keep the money, then you got to try to go out and find money. It's connecting the dots.
So we're talking to Ms. Sheba McNeil this morning. You came in here with a passion to talk about something.
I did.
So let's talk about it.
Childcare.
Okay.
We're really, I think people think money solves issues. And, okay, we're going to give them some money that solves the issues. And, okay, turn about. that's not the case. I think I spoke with a county commissioner. He was at a meeting last night that I attended. And it was a meeting, no one else was there, I attend those meetings with the people to hear what everyone is saying to citizens. I like to be in those meetings. And he was there, and I spoke with him, and I was discussing what was going on, and he stated that he knew about it. And I said,
knew about what exactly?
well, we're having problems. So, okay, the way the funding is going, people are having problems with employees.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I texted you this
Yes.
morning. So, okay, so if just say I'm a child care employee, I'm going to your daycare, I'm gonna get a job, you offer me a bonus, so I get your bonus. Joe offered a bonus, so they leave you and go get his bonus. Okay, boom, I got that bonus, so I'm gonna leave that one and go get that bonus. And the poaching and everything that's going on, and then what they're doing now, the employees are setting up the providers, meaning they all said they're gonna quit at the same time and leave the rooms uncovered and then call the state, so you have to close down. So you're loose, and then they're trying to write us up for not having sanitation, but sanitation, they're short-staffed, so why would we get written up because they can't come and do the job? So why would we get written up for that? I think there's, well, and I stated, and I've spoken with Val Applewhite, I've spoken with Mitch Colvin, and explained my issue, and I'm putting it in writing. And I usually wouldn't, I'm like, but enough is enough. We have to get help, and we're not superheroes. We're there. We're on the front line. And do they see what happened? Before what happened? The world can go without the schools. The schools not working. They can't go without the daycares because they were able to bring the kids to us, and we set up computers and everything for them to still be there. And when you have older kids, they're pretty much, gliding on their own.
Right.
But the smaller kids, the parents can't. Most times, women working now. It's not, it takes two.
You've got in the child care environment, you've got a level of intensity of care that's necessary. You've got to be present, available. You've got to have the proper ratio of supervision, and you need to have dependable people. And what I'm hearing you say is, it almost that the dynamics in that environment are the employees are bouncing around. Sounds like the restaurant industry, quite frankly. They're bouncing around because the compensation structures are fairly similar. So if you don't like me here, I'm going to go over there. And because I was short-staffed to begin with, you're kind of taking folks and you're hoping things work out. There's an interesting opportunity to, if you will, re-envision how childcare works. I love to talk about re-envisioning because there's no buy-in on the part of the workforce. That's what you're really telling me. They're not buying into this incredibly important component part. And as a society, we think you're supposed to figure it out. It's like the school system. We know that without great education, we're not going to have a great workforce. And without a great workforce, you can't have great economic activity. And we're the wealthiest country in the world because of our people, not because of anything else. And so if you're not breeding, if you're not growing another great generation of people, what's your expectation?
And also, like I said, Governor Cooper, hands down, what he did for childcare, and I know, people have their opinions, and that's great. I'm stating facts. Okay. About this particular, no other, I'm not getting into anything else. I'm staying in my lane.
So what did he do for childcare?
He made sure that during that time, he laxed the rules. He made sure that we did have enough funding to go high up and to pay them what they really deserve. Now, that if that ends, and it has ended a great deal, and then he gave us money, we could help our parents pay for childcare. Oh, that helps so much, and give them scholarships. Now, once that ends, because that's what's going on now, they can't make it off $9, $10 an hour. That's not, that's $9, $10 an hour. You cannot even buy groceries with that now. Everything is so expensive. So once if we can't pay them $15, $16 anymore. we're in major trouble.
So we're here having a conversation about childcare with Ms. Sheba McNeil. She owns a couple of childcare facilities here. How long have you been in the childcare business?
Oh gosh, 17 years.
17 years? Mm-hmm. And in that time, could talk to me about the trends. I mean, what has played out in terms of why is it significantly different today?
Oh,
or
yes,
just...
totally, because now we're dealing with that generation, we don't understand them. That generation that they don't care. No, seriously. I mean, when I came in, we was dealing with our age group.
Right.
You know, that was a big difference. I would never want to do someone like that. That has never crossed my mind. Of, you know, putting someone in a bind and doing. Now is malicious, and when I say they don't care, and that's the scary part. I don't have babies anymore, because once my mom became ill and she couldn't be the ones with the babies, I didn't even want license for babies. Right. I asked them, don't put it on my license, because I'm not going to do it. So Don't worry about trying to approve me for that. It's not going to happen, because I don't trust people with people babies, and it's so many records and different things where the babies, you know, it's just the times we're in. Yeah. I mean, they're totally different. They do not care. When I say they don't care, they don't care.
Yeah. You know what's fascinating, because there's a universal complaint about workforce today, and when I you know, I've done some keynote speaking, I've done with clients and the like, and when they complain about the younger generation, my first comment to them was, well, who raised them?
That's right.
And we raised them, and I'm putting my hand up and saying,
no, you're right,
and saying we raised them.
We messed them up.
And this notion that everybody's awesome, everybody gets a ribbon and a trophy.
We're in the trophy generation. That's what Succession. Did you ever watch that show, Succession?
I've seen parts
Billions?
of it. Yes.
Billions. Like, okay, now who wants a trophy? We're in the generation. Okay, you get a trophy. You get a trophy. Now that's not the way.
And I want to speak to those who have young kids today, and say to them, well, let me make one point, and then I'll make that point. There was zero chance when I was growing up that a teacher or even an adult or some random adult would tell my mom that I had done something, and she believed me instead of the adult. She was going to believe the adult. I have two sisters that are in the school system. The parents come in there and will fight you if you say anything bad about their kid.
You don't understand, though, that's what we're going through.
And what in the world is going on? If the kids are ruling the roost, and what's so fascinating, just looking at the mindset today, it was kids are seen but not heard in our generation. Today, you'll have parents, you'll have grandparents, parents, and you'll see the kids, and they'll literally, we will literally look at the youngest person in the family and say, what do you want to do today? And whatever they say, the whole family will do what the youngest person wants to do. So of course they feel entitled. They can move an entire family group by a tantrum or a request. It is absolutely devastating.
I look at things every day, and I realize that these could be my grandkids. You don't realize it when you're in them. Like, these could be my grandkids, and I make sure that they respect me or they can't attend. Yeah. I suspended 2 last week because they wouldn't give me the basketball when I asked them. You're suspended. Yeah. I asked them twice. They don't listen to their mom. They're suspended from school. They don't go to school when they don't want to go. They're ruling over her. She's had her head up to it. And I have children now. I'm speaking to the parents and say, I'm ready to go. And they pull her down. I have to pause the conversation and get into the child in front of the parent and explain to her, you can't allow that. The robots must come, because I never thought I wanted a robot. I'm just going to make sure I have the automatic shut-offs in case they try to get me. But give me my robot. I'm saving my money. We do okay,
Sheila,
so we need to put our money aside. I'm not joking.
I know you're not joking.
Give me my robot. And if he get a little funny acting, I'm going to downgrade him like, you too smart. And just unplug them, but we're gonna need them.
What's so funny about this is I haven't taken a caller in a long, long time, but I believe if we open up the phones today, we would have a flood of people saying, "Child, let me tell you this story. Child, were you speaking the truth?" I mean, it would be like,
We're going through it, Darza.
it was like amen, amen, and amen, huh?
It's a lack of respect. It's such a one thing I tell my students, and I'm a fun teacher. I allow them to do whatever they want because I realize they don't like us either, and I realize that, and they're not gonna have a good day every day. They're just miniature us. So I respect them. I think children deserve respect as we do as well. So in order, I give them respect so they can give it to me. So I treat them well so they can treat me well. So if I treat you well, you're gonna treat me well. And that's with me with anything in life.
Yeah.
If you don't treat me well, then that's okay. I will excuse myself because you're not gonna mistreat me. And that goes for anyone. And so when I do that, my children, I let them play, do whatever they want to do, as long as they don't curse, bully.
Yeah, let me stop you for a second. We're here at the bottom of the hour. I want to take this break timely. Come back. We're talking to Ms. Sheba McNeil. We're talking about healthcare. We're probably going to segue into a few other things going on in our community, but we'll be back. You listen to Profiles and Perspectives with Darswell Rogers. And welcome back to the second half hour of Profiles and Perspectives. I've got Ms. Sheba McNeil in studio with me. We're covering a broad cross-section of questions and topics in our community. Sheba's 17 years in the child care business. And I think we want to kind of close that out before we talk about some of the other activities. So we've talked a lot about, we've ranted, I'd even go so far, about the challenges with workforce and the like. The fact that the governor provided some subsidies for parents to put their kids in workforce, as well as to pay childcare workers a higher wage, because particularly through the pandemic, it was critical. But we're at this point in time today, I gather, where perhaps those subsidies may be going away.
Yes, he's getting a lot of pushback from your people. So yeah, we're
my people. Huh?
Well, we're gonna keep it nice.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, we're getting a lot of pushback from that. But like I stated, and only like I stated, I'm not going on all I'm saying is I'm comparing to other states because I travel and most of my family, I have no family here, so all my family's in different states.
Okay. And
their daycare subsidies have ran out 2 years ago. What they've done, and for the entire group, what they've done for childcare is like no other. I mean, they've done a great job in that.
Okay.
And we appreciate that. We're just afraid of, how it is. Once you get comfortable with something, we're trying to see what to do now. Because as you see, things didn't go back. When the pandemic, everybody started making a certain amount of money. Now they're even saying that you don't have to have degrees to work in top companies. You see where they're eliminating that? Because now they see that they're not going to college. And
there's no
scared.
work. Yeah, you're saying you don't have a highly skilled workforce.
Right.
So, listen, the cost of a college education versus the value you get from it, let's face it, it doesn't match up for a whole lot of people. I mean, to spend $50,000 a year for 4 years and then decide you want to be a teacher, I mean, you can't afford it. But I'm going to tell you
what it give you. It give you can tell the difference.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not suggesting that there's not some value in the rigor.
And that's the issue. I think that's why we're going to have a lot of issues in this world. Because education is not about learning A, 1, 2, 3, the square. And no, it's about civilization. Mm-hmm. How to work with one another.
Socialization process.
That's right.
Yep.
How to have a conversation without vulgar and insults and without race being thrown out. That's what education give you. And that's what it's going to be lacking because they're not doing that.
So do you have any recommendations or suggestions in terms of what we might do given the crises that you're confronted with?
Yes, everyone save your money for your robots. I'm not joking. I'm not even joking.
I know you're not joking.
I mean, robots. I mean, the restaurant business, you go to the restaurants, you look, it's never right. I haven't had an order right in so long, I've given up.
Well, if you were to look at the World Economic Council, they make certain predictions in terms of what they see in terms of artificial intelligence, and the expectations are that your pharmacist is going to be an AI. They expect there to be on the board of Fortune 500 companies that there's going to be an AI. We clearly know that when you walk into a lot of restaurants, they let you go to a kiosk and punch in so you don't have to talk to anybody, and then the food just comes out. You've paid everything, and obviously with your tablet today, you do it on your phone.
They have like 2 or 3 hotels. It's just
yes.
And McDonald's in Texas is no one in the entire McDonald's. I'm like, you guys better read the writing.
I walked into at RDU. I walked into a store in there. You had to have a credit card.
That's right.
You walked into the store. They kind of scanned a card. Card. You picked up what you wanted and walked straight out. There was no interaction with a human being.
I've been to 2 or 3 places like that in America, and there's places up in Raleigh to where it's no waitress. Only thing, the robot serving the food. North Carolina, where my niece A&T during COVID, they had the robots delivering their food to the door. I mean, the writing is on the wall.
So we've got a real challenge from a workforce perspective. I really think that, looking at the state of public education in general, and obviously a lot of that starts, prior to the public system because of the child care dynamic, to have some real conversations about this. We don't need to have people running their mouths and not coming up with solutions. So let's pivot. Let's pivot. You're on the board of Distinctly Fayetteville, as well as on the board of the convention, the Crown Coliseum. There's been a lot of conversations recently. It made the newspaper about the new entertainment venue coming downtown. So let's broadly, what is that venue going to be? How did you all decide to put it there? People still want to talk about that. And then there was this information the other day about there being a cost rover run, and the thing's not even started yet.
Oh, I haven't heard about that. That's new. No, when did you hear that? I'm good, right?
Yeah. Well, I knew better though.
No. Right. Yes. So how they made a decision? They had a committee where they think it should be, and they voted. They did analysis. They did all the due diligence with that. They had community came in, people voted, and they think of downtown because we have the baseball field, and you're a traveler, you're a city person. Downtown is where the action needs to be. Bring the restaurants and okay.
So you not only they did the analysis, but is your conclusion that putting it downtown was a good decision?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. That's what the study.
Okay.
They did the studies. They did all the homework because we know, some people wanted it out there near the mall.
Right.
Some wanted it out there with the Crown at the home, but it was just too many variables with that.
Yes.
And you know how that is. So they said the best place would be for downtown. That way we can get all the traffic, because we looked at if we put it out somewhere, people will get in their car, and rightfully so. If you go to a concert that's out, you're not going to get back in your car and you're tired from the concert or event.
You're just going to go straight home.
Mm-hmm. You're just going to go on the highway and go home. So we want the money to stay instead, because when people want the traffic to die down, they'll stay parked and they'll go eat hang out and wait.
And this venue, what exactly is the venue? So what is going to take place in this venue when it's finally constructed?
Well, the same that's taking place now, but just on larger scale. We could get some main acts with that, and that's what we're hoping. I know it's scaled down. To be honest with you on that, we just received the news just as you did. We wasn't aware of it until
in terms of the cost overrun.
Right.
What I read, and I don't know to what extent that the reporting was accurate. It seemed to suggest. And what was the initial number that it was going to cost, and what's the new number?
Around like 130, something like that, and then it was top of the scale. It was nice, everything, but now it's going to be like 160.
That's what I heard. And what I read was that they based the initial number off of costs from like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yes.
And that's the part that I couldn't wrap my mind around.
Right. Well, you got to ask them because they're the contractors. We don't know, and I know that. I think a lot of people is disappointed, but we're still going to have a great center.
Okay.
We will scale back from the road sign, which is great because now it won't be on a curve. People can actually get through, and we're keeping all the major what needs to be done. I mean, was it disappointing? I think what's more disappointing is that we haven't started breaking ground yet.
Right.
I think that's what it is.
And the intention is to put it in the parking lot that's between the old courthouse and the new courthouse.
Yes.
And let me just talk about this cost overrun for a second, because as an entrepreneur, I've never done any sort of development, but I know enough people who've done development to say that if a private enterprise was doing this project of $130 million, the first thing that in my mind, that you would do is you'd go out and you would get current cost estimates on what it would take to do it, because your profitability is tied to it, and you've got to go and get a loan from a financial institution that will also be looking at the diligence and the accuracy of your numbers.
Correct.
It feels to me like because the county was not thinking from the point of view of, I can't afford to be wrong, because if you as a private organization, I don't have unlimited amounts of money. I can't just go and tell, I just raise some extra cash. Mm-hmm. I got to be sure that my numbers are right. So I'm not understanding how we accepted an estimate that wasn't current in terms of the cost of construction. That's the part I don't understand.
Well, I wasn't there, and unfortunately, I'm not on that committee with the board for that. When we received it, we looked. We was all in agreement to it. And I think at the time during COVID, it was just so many variables with it. It was new. It was a lot of moving parts, and things are out. Like, they can't get. I know people who can't get a door for years. I mean,
it's a challenge.
Things are
supply
a challenge.
Supply chain is a real problem. There's no doubt.
It's really an issue, and like I said, even I don't like to really say, oh, they should, because in daycare, people can tell me everything until you're standing there with the child and the parent and the money and this and that. It's a big deal.
And I will plead guilty to Monday morning quarterbacking right now. Yeah. Okay, I'll plead guilty to that. I wasn't there in the room. I don't actually know how they came up with it.
But I'm just saying from their standpoint.
But if you say, did you use 5-year-old numbers, then I got a problem with it. If you had said, I use current numbers and everything, and the cost spiked on me, that I understand.
Right.
But you can't say to me, oh, I based it on 5 years ago. I mean, that I can't even wrap my mind around that, particularly when you consider what inflation has done over the last 3 or 4 years.
5 years, exactly.
It's like,
and I'm sure the commissioners, I'm sure that was questionable to them.
Yeah.
At that point, but like I said, when it was time to get properties, trying to do, I just think it was a lot of moving parts, and it's something very new, and something we haven't done before.
Yeah.
And we're all growing, and with growing, it's growing pains.
Yeah.
And I think we've learned from this situation. When we move forward and do other great buildings and do other great things, we would know the questions to ask. We would know what to say. But when it's there at that time, you're just, you're trying to get it done, and you're trying to get the citizens something that they deserve. Mm-hmm. And I just think it was just an oversight. But I don't think it was. Like I said, it's hard standing in the rain when you have no umbrella.
There's nothing malicious about this at all. I just want everybody to be better stewards of the citizens' money. I mean, that's all this is about, right? My observations are, I sat on the PwC board.
Oh, let's not bring that up, because I'm happy you brought PwC up, because I need to speak with the board. You guys are just you guys all need security guards to walk with y'all. PwC, that's another story. Okay, well, we can talk about that in a second. Let me just let me make this observation. I mean, in the 8+ years that I sat on that board, we had a significant cost overrun related to a computer system upgrade. But as it related to all the construction that they do, and obviously they're always doing construction. Yes, and what neighborhoods though?
There weren't cost overruns. We were estimating fairly accurately what it is we thought it was going to take to do stuff. Now, if you build and if you're doing construction all the time, it's easier to say that. So go ahead with your criticism. And obviously I don't sit on that board anymore. But
it's not a criticism, it's a fact. Criticism is, you don't like the way someone make a pie, but they like the pie because they put allspice in it and not cinnamon.
Okay.
No, facts are facts.
Okay.
PwC, yeah, like I stated, I guess I come from, Connecticut. It's different up there. They're there to seem like they're there to help versus,
Are you talking about customer service costs or what with the comment
the
you're making?
billing.
Billing, okay.
It's with, how mine went up 200 extra from what I did last year for no reason. And the month that they're saying, they say, oh, it was cold, but I wasn't there in the building because it was during vacation time. They just get, oh, it's cold. And, and then also the Crown, where every month when we get the manager's report, that's their biggest issue is how much the lights are. Something needs to be done. I think someone need to come in and check out what they're doing wrong.
This is a great conversation. And so let me because I sat on that board at the first time we had a cold snap. I'll call it a cold snap, where we went multiple weeks with the temperature never getting above freezing, and then it went up and came back down. And so let me offer up a couple of perspectives. Number one, the utility is not a for-profit enterprise. So there's no one over there who's motivated. Nobody's compensation shifts at all based upon the amount of income that we take in. So there's no inherent motivation to gouge customers because nobody would benefit from it. The dynamics around how much energy you use has nothing to do with whether or not you changed your thermostat. So let's assume in the winter, you keep your thermostat at 68 degrees and it never varies. Last year, that 68 degree temperature, your bill was $100 a month. It was $100 every month. Mm-hmm. The average temperature last year was warmer than the average temperature this year. So as a result, the heat, your thermostat kicked on more this year compared to last year. You didn't change your thermostat. We didn't change the price.
No, mine is a turnoff. I don't have that over there.
Okay, well, I'm trying to keep it even so that you can appreciate the thing that's different is the outside temperature, not the way that the utility is billing or doing anything else. Because that has been the principal complaint that most people have is my bill is higher and I haven't changed my thermostat.
But, yeah, that's not mine.
But okay, so maybe I need to go back. But I think about the Crown or otherwise. But it's not the utility doesn't have a motivation to get a higher stream of income. People's bills are higher, and I'll.
What do you mean? Okay, explain that. I want you to go into that. So,
yeah,
is you saying that they don't have the motivation? Because I don't know how it works. So this is great to hear that. So no CEOs are getting bonuses, none of that.
There are no bonuses paid at PwC, none.
So there's no structure of money at all, just your regular paycheck.
It's a government entity,
right?
So it operates just like the city. Yeah, it does not. No one benefits from higher revenue. No, there is no compensation inside PwC related to how much the utility earns.
I want to come back on this. Yeah. I'm going to do my real research because.
Do you doubt me?
You do as well. I think you're just a genius.
I'm not looking
I want to be invited back. Was that good?
But there's there is as a matter of fact the utility operates.
And then the way they cut you off. Okay, let me stop you as well. When it's certain times of the year code, you guys should not turn people's lights off under no circumstances. You make enough money to where you can sustain 1 to 2 months without turning people off. They've done it in Connecticut. If it gets a certain, they're not going to turn you off. And then they can have up different plans. They can never come up with a real payment plan for you.
Well,
they aren't nice.
We have I'm saying we.
You're not there.
Yeah, I'm not there.
I was
going to say they. 2 points. There are a number, if anyone is proactively talking to the utility about challenges in terms of their ability to pay their bills, there are organizations as well as the utility will work with people. I get phone calls. I'm not even on the board, and I get phone calls from people because I know people on the board say, hey, can you work with this person? There's a proactive desire to support the community.
Well, we shouldn't have to call a different You know, and for some senior citizen, I get it, they have to call different. But you call those organizations, the things it take a million times you gotta do, it should be something within PwC that
There
can
is
help
within,
you.
well, there is.
Well, yeah, they could pay, the only thing I could do is have now, and we cannot do anything. And the calls are recorded, so you can ask for the recorded logs and hear the conversations. They're awful.
Well, I listen. Anybody
And I'm
who's
not the one. I'm not the only one saying it.
listen. I'm happy to the folks over at the utility they're out in the public all the time.
So we're gonna just stop them. They upset too. They go through PwC.
No. Well, listen. What I'm going to acknowledge the fact is that you're saying that you're unhappy and other folks are unhappy. The ability to reach the folks inside the utility and at a senior level, I'll make a phone call when we get off the air and say, listen, I'd like for you to talk to Sheba about what her issues are. Happy to make that happen. I just think that, and from where I'm sitting,
Yes.
and as a customer, as a former board member, there's a lot of misunderstanding. But I think that the utility is a very proactive communicator through their Facebook page and otherwise in terms of what's taking place. One of the comments I'll make coming back to the whole idea around costs, in the middle of my term at PwC, the peak energy usage in Fayetteville shifted from being in the middle of the summer to the middle of the winter. So to talk about how the climate is changing, and I'm talking about our peak usage for the year. It used to be that the summers were so hot that everybody flipped on their air conditioning and our peak for the year was in the summer. Now it's consistently in the winter. And so these shifts, people have to come to grips with what that does in terms of their budget and their financial capacity to keep their house warm versus not.
I think a lot of it for me, and I'm only going to speak for me.
Yeah.
But I'm speaking for a lot of people. But is how they really aren't willing to work with you that well.
I'm wide open to having those conversations. In 8 years on the board, I just don't have any knowledge of somebody really saying you guys are just unreasonable. You guys won't be
because I guess we just feel, it's like if you know you have to do something, you got to have lights. So what can you do? I mean, we got to have lights. I mean, really, we have to have lights.
And this is where we come back to the fact that this is not a for-profit organization.
Right.
So if you're going to allow someone to not pay their bill and keep their lights on, what you're saying is that the rest of the people in the system are going to subsidize them. So within certain parameters, we do work actively with people to keep their lights on, senior citizens and the like. Absolutely do that. And you're saying that that's not true.
I don't want to spend too much time on it because that's not why I'm here. That's a whole nother subject.
But,
and I didn't worry you your 8 years. I knew you were on the board.
Yeah.
I knew you were the chairman.
Well,
I keep up with you.
I wish you had worried me because this is exactly the reason why you sit and you serve is to support the community. And so that's why I'm sensitive to it because, and again, I know if
But we got a
new CEO, Tim Bryant. We've got a great group over there.
You were the best. I didn't have any problems with our Darswells on
Oh
that.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. So listen, we've got a couple of minutes left. We have covered the child care challenges. You're getting yourself a robot. You've recommended robots to all of us as we move forward.
I'm just saying when we get older, we don't have us to take care of us.
So,
the
elder care, you're definitely gonna need a robot.
I have my mom. I take great care of my mom.
Right.
We're not gonna have a us. I'm just saying. And even if you do have kids, they don't even have the capacity to punch out a box. They melt down.
Let's not beat them all up now.
Oh no. I'm talking about.
My man's here. It's like, wait a minute. I'm ready to take care of my family.
I'm not saying financially. I'm saying
time and energy.
They
effort.
don't know how to. They get raffled easy. Like we can have. Like right now, I'm sitting with 20 problems that I need to handle. I'm laughing, having a good time. They can't separate their day with, okay, this is business and that's life. Life goes on with problems. It's okay.
Yeah.
I've had to go through it with, young ones. Like they be having one problem. I'm thinking it's something really sad, and they couldn't get their class changed. and I'm like, they're on the bridge.
Right.
So I'm like, it's just not that serious.
Well, listen, we've acknowledged the fact that the way that we raised this generation has given them a sense of entitlement that we never felt.
And he's doing great. He is the greatest I've ever. He's the best cameraman. How's that?
He's handling. So listen, Sheba McNeil, thanks for having come in and made this a lively program this morning.
And I wasn't planning on that, but Doris, well, we've known each other so long, you bring that out of me. I don't have to be fake. I mean, I was going to do the fake, but I said, but hey, it's Doris.
Fake's not good radio.
Yeah, but I have such good, I've known you, and you're so professional, all seriousness. You've helped me out my first daycare, I must say. When I had my first center, you laid out some points I should do.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now.
That's right. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
And I still have that. It helped me, and it guided me. And people need to get a mentor somewhere. It's worth the money. You don't realize that until you're doing business with the real people, why they put money in those type of things. Because I still go by what you taught me.
Well, good. We've reached the end of our hour. I want to thank you for having joined us this morning, and to everyone else, you guys have an outstanding weekend. You're listening to Profiles and Perspectives with Doris Rogers.